I was just looking at the pictures behind you and I was thinking about the way that you feel about choosing relationships carefully and what type of relationship you're going to have with someone. Having the foresight to know what it could be and what it should be.
You know, you're always going to pick the right relationship. It's always going to be perfect. Because every relationship that we have is a mirror. Right? That person is a mirror. So when you choose to be with a person, like that person that you choose to be with, that's a projection of yourself. It's a projection of what you find as attractive. It's a projection of what you will align yourself with. So let's say that you go into a relationship with someone who is toxic and you can see that they're toxic, right? That is a projection of where you are. So you can't choose the wrong relationship because what you choose is there to show you who you are.
And what you were aligned with at
and
that
what
time.
exactly what you're aligned with. So in this process of choosing relationships and them failing, and I say that because relationships don't fail unless you don't get the lesson, right? The relationship didn't fail, you failed. So now you got to do it again, right? You get into a relationship with a toxic person and you say, you were toxic to me, you were toxic to me, you were toxic to me. And then you break up. And what do? You get into another relationship just like that. And you do it again, and you do it again, and you do it again because you didn't focus on the mirror. You didn't focus on the reflection, you focused on the mirror, right? You focused on what was doing the reflecting, but you didn't focus on the reflection. You didn't look at what was in the mirror. I was in a toxic relationship one time. In fact, I made a whole career out of it, right? I was doing speaking engagements, talking about this relationship because it was so toxic. And I will never forget, this was the only time I went to a therapist. I sat there for 55 minutes telling her about how toxic she was to me, my partner at the time. And the therapist didn't say anything. She just let me get it all out. She let me say everything. And it felt so good to say, this is what she's doing to me. This is how she hurt me. And you know what she did to me last week? And it just felt good to get it out. And then at that 55th minute, the therapist said, why are you still there? That was all I needed to know.
$1 million question.
$1 million question, because that was the only important part of everything that happened within that hour is that question. Why am I still there?
Yeah.
What is it about me that has allowed this to go on?
Or that is aligned with this.
Exactly. What is it about me that's aligned with this toxic behavior? Because if she's toxic and I'm choosing to stay with her, that means that something in me is toxic too. Oh, shit. Really? Wow. How could that possibly be? I'm such a good guy. How could that be? So there's no choosing the wrong relationship. And again, see, people think about relationships in terms of success and failures, in terms of how long they last. So if my relationship lasts until I die, that means it was successful. Hell no. No, because if you were in that relationship until the day that you died and it was toxic and you were unhappy, you were sad, like, no, you failed the test. You failed.
Yeah.
A success is when you are able to see yourself in that situation and in that person, and you are able to make the changes.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like this about myself. I don't like what I'm attracting. I don't like what I'm keeping in my life. I want to work on this and then move on. And then guess what? You get into your next relationship and you think, okay, I got it now. I did the work. I'm good. I got it. You get into that relationship and it's going to hell. And you're like, what? Right? And so now that's another mirror. That's another way to find something else that needs to be worked on. And then you get into the next relationship. And every time you do this, you're just moving up. You're moving up until you get to the place where it's like, boom, this is it. This is my person. This is the person who I was supposed to ride through this journey with. But I had to get to this place in order to be there. Like when I look at myself now compared to when I was sitting in the therapist chair, night and day. But there's no way that I could be in this relationship that I'm in now as the person who I was then. I wouldn't have lasted a day. So you have to go through there's no shortcuts. You know, sometimes you got to do your training. Sometimes people I just want to get there. There's no shortcuts. You got to go through the process. There's no wrong relationship. There's a wrong outlook. There's a wrong way to look at things. Everything, every person, every situation, every circumstance in your life is a mirror. Everything. So, knowing that we don't even have to be angry when a relationship doesn't work out or when someone hurts us, because it's all a gift. It's like, when you think about your life, like you look at this long road ahead of you, and every person who is standing on the sides of that road is standing there with a gift. And when we think about gifts, we think about something that makes us feel good. But sometimes gifts don't feel good. Sometimes the best gifts don't feel good in the moment. But down the road, you're like, I'm so glad that happened.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful that happened. So people are going to hurt you. People are going to betray you. Like I got people who have betrayed me, friends who have betrayed me, and their pictures are still on the wall. Because I still love them and I still appreciate the gift that they gave me and the ability to see myself through them and find out new things about myself, not only from all our good times, but from the times that they hurt me too. I was able to see more of myself than I ever could without them. So there is no wrong friendships. There's no wrong intimate relationships. It's all a part of your journey. Everybody is a character in your story, right? And they're helping you develop your own character. Yeah. No wrong way to go. And that could be infuriating to some people, frustrating because they just want to be there. But no, you got to do the work. You got to do the work.